What is up, everybody? Steve here. I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to talk about another John Burns report that came out. As mentioned, you guys can go to his website, sign up for the newsletter. It's very informative, so I highly recommend everybody check it out if you guys are interested in more about real estate, building, construction. Today we're going to talk about remodeling and the slowdown, and maybe some predictions that I have as well. In a previous video, I spoke about bartering and getting materials, and also buying materials super cheap and everything else. And I think probably coming into 2023, we're going to see more opportunity if you guys are in the business of fixing and flipping, or you have some home projects that you need to get done. I believe that we're going to see material costs come down tremendously, and also I believe we're going to see contractors in specific trades. It's going to get cheaper from where we were at in terms of the projects, because these projects, they're still in the works, but they're falling off. And, there's going to be a lot of these contractors that are going to need work to pay their employees, to pay themselves, to feed their families. So I think that pricing overall is going to come down on remodel projects. So if you guys have the ability to hang on tight for that project you've been itching to get on, I would just chill out for a while. This report goes on to say 500 remodelers show a slight remodeling decline ahead. This means that building material demand will almost certainly decline next year, at the same time that supply is finally catching up to demand, resulting in building material price stabilization, meaning, we're going to have plenty of supply, and if there's too much supply, even at the big box stores like Lowe's and Home Depot, they don't necessarily have the room to store all this additional supply. So what do they have to do? They will discount it. So keep your eye out on that kind of stuff as well. By the way, whenever we're doing remodeling projects or whatever the case is, I always go to the sections, and sometimes there's multiple sections in these big box stores. And a lot of times they're not necessarily labeled out, but sometimes they're in the middle of the aisle, or sometimes they're in the back part of an aisle, kind of brushed to the side. But you have a lot of people that bought special order stuff, or sometimes certain things are damaged, and you can get unbelievable deals in these big box stores as well. So always check those sections out as well, even in today's market when prices are still relatively high. Also, labor availability among trades is going to basically become more prevalent. So you're going to have more opportunity to pick and select people who are less busy. So again, there's going to be an oversupply of labor, so labor costs should come down coming into 2023. Both Lowe's and Home Depot reported strong remodeling growth in Q2. Obviously, because you got to understand, a lot of these, this is all lagging data as well, just like I talk about with real estate. You got to understand that a lot of jobs, some of them are pretty decent sized jobs. They write out a contract. So they have between the remodeling company and the homeowner, there's contracts that are written, and they'll say, we can't get started for another 3 months, 5 months, whatever it is. So these remodelers still have backlogs of jobs that they still have to perform on. And those contracts are still locked in. So project demand is incredibly strong. The project backlog remains healthy per the Home Depot quarter 2 of 2022 earnings call. And then Lowe's earnings call, the professional remodeler is busier than ever, and the strength of the pro backlog speaks to the significant pent-up demand for their services. Again, that's what I was saying. I have multiple contractors that I work with here locally in Southwest Florida. I talk to them on a regular basis. And yes, they are still busy, but they are still busy with a lot of backlog contracts that they still have to fulfill and complete. We think the slowdown won't be evident to building material manufacturers until next year. One thing that I do want to kind of touch on, and I've been trying to pull out information from people that I know, is, just like we have home builder sentiment and the amount of people backing out of contracts, new home sale construction contracts. I really am interested, and if you guys are in the trades, and if you guys are a a remodeler or your specific trades, are you guys seeing people, homeowners or fix and flippers, whatever, back out on contracts that they had with you? I'm really curious about that. I know it is happening, but I'm curious in terms of the volume that it's happening as well, because I think that we just got the CPI report on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, and the cost of everything's still pretty high, and I think that people are burning through money, and I think that we're going to see people that don't need specific jobs done right now, like a remodeled kitchen. I think we're going to see more people backing out of those contracts, unfortunately, or fortunately for them if they're saving money in the future. Here are comments from some of the many remodelers whose large backlogs are starting to thin out. A customer who pre-qualified to finance a $160,000 kitchen project at a lower rate earlier in the year was turned down when interest rates rose. Our company relies on clients doing HELOC loans, home equity lines of credit, if you guys don't know what that is. And I'm telling you guys, if you're in that situation, do not take a HELOC loan out of your house to fund a liability, which is, a kitchen remodel, whatever. Unless you're flipping that house right away, that is a liability. You're taking money out to do something that's going to fulfill your own personal satisfaction, and that's not a good use of taking on debt, in my opinion. Lead volume is decreasing as clients are finding it harder to finance via home equity. Some customers who planned on financing or refinancing their homes to pay for jobs are delaying until they can either save up cash or wait for interest rates to lower. Cash out refinances or HELOCs to fund projects have taken a significant hit. So it sounds like, per this report, that, some remodelers are feeling the effects of people just not moving forward on that contract, or maybe even backing out of contracts. So again, I'm curious as to how many people are actually backing out of contracts. 60% of remodelers report that lead times are improving. Obviously, this is good news. Supply chain issues, things are starting to get worked out to a certain extent, and they were actually getting caught up with jobs. And, talking to a buddy of mine, he's getting a pool put in, and I was astonished that they literally are going to be breaking ground in the next 30 days, which I thought it was going to be at least 3 or 4 months out. Goes on to say, we remain very bullish on long-term remodeling demand due to the number of homes entering the prime remodel years, all-time high levels of home equity, and homeowners decide to upgrade their current home instead of buying new. The third part, I think, is there's some truth there. I think that there's a lot of people that have locked into 30-year, 15-year fixed rates over the last couple of years. They're in at like 2.5%, maybe 3% interest. And those people are probably not going to move. If they have the land to do so, they'll probably add on to the existing house if they need more space. So I think that there is going to be a segment of the population, especially if you guys are in the trades, I would be concentrating on that segment of the population. Entering the prime remodel years, I don't know about that. Over the last couple of years, I saw a lot of houses being remodeled and that were older homes that needed remodeling. So I'm not too sure about that. And then all-time high levels of home equity. I think people are realizing that instead of taking a HELOC loan to do a remodel, I think people are taking HELOC loans to just basic survival. And that's what a lot of people would do to, with a cash out refinance, they would pull cash out of their house, but a lot of people don't want to give up that cheap interest rate, so they're going for HELOC loans. So I think with the cost of everything being so high right now that people tap into their equity to basically finance their overhead at this point. That's where I see things going, just because it's not sustainable, and the cost of living is just getting astronomical. So I think coming into 2023, we're going to see a significant slowdown in remodeling. So if you guys are going to be remodeling your home or remodeling some of your rental properties, I would just chill out and wait. I think labor and materials, prices of those will come down. But anyway, take a look at that report. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you guys on the next video.